The Winnipeg Jets have the NHL absolutely terrified as they win yet another game, this time in absolutely convincing fashion on the back of Nino Niederreiter, but also Connor Hellebuck. He shut the door, he got a shutout, and this Jets team is absolutely unbelievable and is doing the unthinkable. But before we get into all that, quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the 70% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jets and NHL, but Jets content. And thank you guys for your continued support on the Jets videos. Thank you guys for watching. But let's just get right into it. There's a lot to go over today. What a win by the Winnipeg Jets. It happened like 30 minutes ago. And again, you look at the box score, and I have a few points to dive into today. First of all, yes, for all you guys watching, I will be getting into the refereeing, which was once again absolutely horrible tonight. They're just screwing the Winnipeg Jets, and we'll have another video probably tomorrow going more in depth on that situation, so make sure you tune in. I also see the comments about the Kyle Connor jersey that I should get one to put in the background. I might have a surprise for you guys in the next couple of videos. But Darius, what a game for the Winnipeg Jets. And speaking of surprises, Nino Niederreiter had 2 goals today. He's been one of the one of the shining lights for the Winnipeg Jets. And quite frankly, Darius, this team looks absolutely unstoppable. And it almost got to the point where, like, Winnipeg Jets fans are watching and thinking, wow, this team is so good that this game wasn't even close. Not that it was boring, but it was just so dominant from start to finish. You're the best goalie, one of the best goalies in the NHL, and Connor Hellebuck just on cruise control. And there's a lot of points I want to go over, but let me get your thoughts first on this, Darius. A big win, and not from a lot of the stars. Kyle Connor didn't get a goal. He didn't even get on the board. Neither did Nikolai Ehlers. Mason Appleton got an assist. But what are your thoughts on this? Another dominant win for the Jets.
Finding ways to win. This is what I've been saying. I keep saying it on the channel, but that's exactly what the Winnipeg Jets are doing to keep this winning streak alive. And again, it's goal scoring from your third line in today's game, right? You got Nino Niederreiter getting on the board with 2 goals, and they played a really good, complete game. And even this one on the empty net, they're working for their goals. Yep. Even though there was no goalie in the net and you score in the empty net, they are absolutely working and fighting for their chances and their goals. I thought the penalty kill was fantastic again tonight. So obviously the special teams have been great, but you mentioned it as well. Like, the top guys didn't really score in this game, but they're finding ways to win. They're getting goal scoring and good efforts all throughout the lineup. And we've talked a lot about, the defense, the highest scoring defense in the National Hockey League. In this game, 3-0 win. You get your goaltending back. Obviously, it was a shaky game for Connor Hellebuck in the last one, but you get your goaltending back. The confidence is back up with that. And obviously, your third line comes to play. And you don't need a rider. This is exactly why they got this type of player, because this is what he does, right? He can kind of shine with these types of performances in games where you need him to, where the other guys aren't going. And you're going to have games like that. And it's important for the rest of your lineup to get going, because you can keep things like this winning streak going. So this has been a phenomenal start to this season, and they are still the NHL's best team in not only wins, but in almost every single category at this point in time. This has been an incredible run for the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, the team has been dominant, and now again they stay atop the NHL. They beat the Utah Hockey Club, who aren't a terrible team either. Obviously, their first year in the NHL, still developing, but a very nice win. Now, looking ahead, we'll get into in a minute here. They do play Colorado and Dallas, but going back to the box score for a second here, and one thing I do want to note again: Connor Hellebuck, 21 for 21, absolutely dominant. We saw some good things from the blue line tonight. We saw Dylan Sandberg and Josh Morrissey. And again, another shout out to Dylan Sandberg. He played a lot tonight. He played a lot of minutes, 24. He got 5 shots on goal. And again, I keep pumping his tires because he's been very solid. Got on the board again. And I just love what I'm seeing from him. Shooting, even just getting 5 shots for Dylan Sandberg is something that a couple of years ago would have been very surprised to hear about. But you mentioned it. And I also want to give an honorable or a quick shout out, honorable mention to Adam Lowry. I haven't brought him up a lot on this channel when talking about the games. And he's not the flashiest player, but he is absolutely the captain of this team, and he drives everything. Tons and almost every team in the NHL would want an Adam Lowry on their team. He plays great two-way hockey. He scores goals when it's needed. He stands up for his teammates, and he facilitates very well. And tonight, that was another case. He had 2 assists. So I wanted to give a shout-out to him. I haven't talked about him much on this channel. So I'll on a game where none of the top guys, the top couple of lines really got much done. They still had very good games. I still like what I saw from really everybody: Kyle Connor, Mark Schaff, and Nikolai Ehlers. But most importantly, shout out to Adam Lowry. And Gabe Vilardi got on the board as well, and he's been quietly great. But I do want to touch on the refereeing briefly here. It got a little bit out of hand, especially towards the end of the game. There was just a lot of weird things going on. We saw Dylan Sandberg and Josh Morrissey get high-sticked no calls that way. And there's been a lot of talk about the referees over the past handful of games. We obviously saw the brutal hit from Nikita Kucherov the other night. It's at the point now where some fans out there think that the refs are coming for them. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I don't know if it's intentional, but the refs had another disastrous game tonight. And Connor Hellebuck, you can even think back to the goalie interference that wasn't called in the last game against Connor Hellebuck, which he had stuff to say, which we'll have a video on very soon. The refs, they need to lock it in a little bit, but it's been like that across the NHL. So I just wanted to vent my frustration there because there should have been two high-sticking calls against Morrissey, or for Morrissey and Dylan Sandberg as well. But shout out to them for battling and getting themselves in a position to draw these penalties.
Yeah, and I think a lot of teams would fold when the reffing kind of goes against them. And I'm not saying, specifically against them. I don't think the refs are doing this on purpose, but they're, these things do happen, and it has been happening league-wide. But the Jets don't fold in that way. They don't let it get the best of them, right? They just continue to do their thing and trying to get on top of it and continue to score and try and win games. So they've been doing a lot of that. And I think it makes it a little bit sweeter for Jets fans in a way when, a lot of non-calls are happening and not everything is going your way in a game and you still win 3-0. So I think it makes things just a little bit sweeter for the Winnipeg Jets. But I wanted to touch on quickly, like you mentioned, bringing up Dylan Sandberg. I think he's been playing fantastic this year and, didn't get on the board, but I mean, in terms of goal scoring, but 5 shots on goal, he's getting pucks to the net, right? He's playing with a lot of confidence. So that's great. And Adam Lowry, at the time that he was named captain, I love that you brought this up. A lot of other teams named their best player captain. I feel like that's been a thing throughout history and it's a thing right now for sure, right? But this is a guy who leads by example. And I think a lot of teams would want a guy like that on their team. So he's been fantastic. So I like that you pointed that out, and just a shout out to him on the channel for sure. And the Winnipeg Jets off to a great start this season, even to get advanced analytics like you can see here all season long. A lot of standout performances and not too many guys having negative impacts throughout this season. And when they do, they bounce back.
Yeah, they're the deepest team in hockey. There's no doubt about it. And looking ahead to the screenshot there with the schedule, they play some very difficult teams going forward. Now, you can obviously see it's interesting. They play Colorado next, and they also play Dallas. So there's going to be some very interesting games going forward for the Winnipeg Jets. And the biggest thing is, shout out to Kyle Connor as well for the, he got a haircut. Funny, yeah. He got the black eye. He's rocking the mustache like Darius down there. So we have a Kyle Connor lookalike here with Darius on the channel. But with Colorado up next and then some rough games, and we covered this in the last video, the schedule. We mentioned this Utah Hockey Club game was a very important one to set the tone going forward. They're now 12-1. They have the next couple of games at home against Colorado, against Dallas. Colorado struggling a little bit. I have no reason to believe that they're going to lose either of these two games. Dallas is going to be the tougher one, but I don't know about you, Darius. The Jets are an absolute wagon. I'm all in on them winning, winning every game for the foreseeable future. Simply, again, they're going to lose one. It's hockey's hockey. Yeah. Sometimes there's luck involved. Sometimes there's refereeing, whatever it is. But this is the deepest team in the NHL right now. And top to bottom, they continue to see production, whether that's Iafallo, whether that's Rasmus Kupari, or most games where it's Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers, and Connor Hellebuck. This team is they're a wagon, and it's super, super fun to watch, and they're playing great hockey. So I'm loving every minute of it.
I agree with you that I think Dallas is going to be the most interesting test of the next couple teams coming up here because they're off to a hot start this season as well. But in terms of Colorado, they're missing a lot of guys due to injury. And you know what? Coming into this game, they still have obviously Nathan McKinnon, who's putting up a ton of points, Cale Makar, right? So you still have to be careful. This is not a guaranteed win or anything like that. But I've been talking about it on the channel, the ability to bounce back. Your top guys didn't have the best game tonight, right? And obviously Kyle Connor was off the board. We talked about it earlier in the video, but their ability to bounce back, I expect that in this game against Colorado. It's not going to be your depth guys carrying you. So I think that's the dynamic of the team right now, and that's why they've been successful. So I expect more of the same from the Winnipeg Jets in the next couple of games.
Yeah, let us know down below in the comments your thoughts are on this. The Jets win once again, and it's been a crazy run, and I think they're going to keep it up, and we'll keep you up to date with all the latest Winnipeg Jets news. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and let us know down below what your thoughts are on this game. We'll see you guys tomorrow.